Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Marksville Avenue residents mount protest over alleged police shooting. Residents of Marksville Avenue in Kingston set fire to a breeze and used it to block the road in protest of the shooting death of a man alleged by the police in the community on Thursday night. Reporters visited the area Friday morning. Residents gave the name of the deceased as Emilio Morris, also known as Papa Stinger, who was in his late 30s. Morris, who the residents claimed was shot in cold blood, was reportedly killed sometime after 11 p.m. A heavy pile-up of traffic was observed in both directions on Marksville Avenue. The police did not comment on the reasons for the protest, but said members of the public should use alternative routes where necessary. The blockage spans from Marksville Avenue and Spanish Town Road intersection to Gem Road. The police said they were working diligently to bring order to the area. Suspect held in Hanover triple murder. Several people have been taken into custody by the police as investigations continue into Wednesday night's triple murder that has left the community blanketed by fear. The police theorize that the attack, which also left 4 others injured, may be linked to an extortion racket being run by the 101 gang that operates out of the Green Island section of Hanover. It is a continuation of the criminal network where they believe that they can get money from business people and other persons in furtherance of their criminal activities. Head of the Jamaica Constabulary Force Communications Unit, Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay reported. They make demands for money to be paid over to them, even though they are not a part of the staff of the companies or establishments. They demand money, and they use different ways to include threat, force, and intimidation. Persons would pay over money to them because of fear, she added. The police on the ground have not said how many people are in custody, and they have also not ruled out other possible motives. There could be gang, extortion reprisal, and counter-reprisal. There are a lot of issues that investigators are looking at, and we are not ruling out any at this stage, said Assistant Commissioner of Police ACP Clifford Chambers, who is in charge of the Area 1 Division, where 5 people were killed on Wednesday. Hanover is part of the division. Chambers anticipates that there will soon be a breakthrough in the triple murder. Persons have been picked up, police are being profiled, statements are being recorded, but we will wait on the detectives to give us direction, he said. Those taken in were picked up during an ongoing operation by a joint security force team in the parish as lawmen probed the attack that claimed the lives of 44-year-old Omar Mahabi, 55-year-old Michael Smith, and 37-year-old Mark Austin. Mohabid and Simit are from Longwood while Austin is from Orange Bay. Those injured in the attack, some of whom have been hospitalized with serious injuries, range between 24 and 44 years old. Police report that shortly after 7 p.m., the men were installing security cameras at a mini-mart located at the Longwood Santora Crossroads, where gunmen posed as customers opened fire on people outside. Simit and Austin died on the spot, and their bodies were removed to Dolly's funeral home after the crime scene was processed about 12:35 a.m. Thursday. Mohabi was pronounced dead at the Noel Holmes Hospital in the parish. Simit's sister, who asked not to be identified by name, is looking for answers. She is hoping the police will find his killers so she can look them in the face and ask why. What my brother do? My brother no do anything. Another of Simit's sisters said her brother, who works at a hotel in Negril, was not one to roam the streets and his death had come as a shock. The way him gone, me never expect it, because him is not a man on the streets, just work to home, the grieving sibling said, adding that her brother had been good and loving. ACP Chambers said family members affected will be provided with counseling and the necessary support. We are not just looking for criminals in this, as we are also seeking to meet the needs of the families who have been affected by the murders, he said. The senior officer added that Wednesday's murders had shattered the past few months of peace in a community that often has flare-ups in crime. He is calling on the residents to work with the police to apprehend those responsible for the attack, which pushed the parish murder toll to 11, the same as the corresponding period last year. Colleagues mourn hotel worker's death. When his colleague, who normally gives him a lift to work, didn't arrive as usual and didn't answer her phone, Francois Scott knew something was wrong. but it never occurred to him that she might be dead. Scott's colleague, Anastasia Edwards, died in a three-vehicle collision in the vicinity of Pear Tree Bottom, Runaway Bay on Sunday. Her CRV burnt beyond recognition. Now Scott and other colleagues at the hotel in Montego Bay, where she worked, are grieving and wondering how Edwards' 9-year-old daughter will cope with the tragedy. I had a feeling that she was maybe in some difficulties, but I never expected to hear of something so tragic, a weeping Scott who lives in the outskirts of Montego Bay reported on Wednesday. I tried everything to find out if she was okay. I called the police stations in the area and the St. Anne's Bay Hospital to find out if anything had happened, but we couldn't get anything. It was a colleague who lives in Runaway Bay area that went to the scene and confirmed to us that she was in an accident. Scott got news while at work. He had made his way there when Edwards didn't show up, and he had immediately noticed her car was not in its usual spot. It hit me hard, and I'm trying to cope, was every time at work, all I can hear is her calling my name. Other co-workers are actually feeling very sad, but I think it hit me so much because I was anticipating to see her the morning of the accident, he said. According to Senior Superintendent Dwight Powell, who is in charge of the St. Anne Police, the crash that claimed the 38-year-old life involved two large vehicles. A tractor-trailer and a Honda CR-V were traveling west towards Discovery Bay, whilst a panel truck was traveling east towards Runaway Bay. The driver of the panel truck strayed into the path of the tractor-trailer, hitting the rear wheel of the tractor-trailer. The driver of the panel truck then lost control of the vehicle and collided with the CR-V, which was traveling behind the tractor-trailer. A female, the driver of the CR-V, died in the incident, he said. On Wednesday, Scott and other still grieving colleagues spoke fondly of Edwards, who had worked as a butler at the hotel since July 2020. Anna was second to none. When I talk about very outspoken, punctual, she just does her best at everything, Alexis Bailey reported. It's just devastating right now for all of us because she was an exemplary worker and a genuine individual. The whole team is in shock because it feels like there is a missing piece to the puzzle. Everybody is mourning. Christopher Murphy, who also worked with Edwards, said he has had a persistent headache since he heard of her death. It is horrible to know she departed in such a manner. Yet to have a proper rest, nothing but constant headache, even worse when I think of her daughter, she said. Colleagues with Edward's young daughter, Jayla Boswell, was her pride and joy, and she often spoke of her. She loved her daughter so much, she never construct a sentence without involving her daughter. Everything that she does was for her. She was her life. This summer, she was planning to take her to Disney World and a trip to St. Lucia. So I don't know how her daughter will take it when she finds out there is no mommy, a Gloom Scott reported. Miss P, a gentle giant in the tourism industry. Days after two consecutive deaths in her family, the last thing Pauline Miller thought she would be doing was standing proudly to receive an award from the St. James Municipal Corporation for her invaluable contribution to the tourism industry. Many at Sandals, Montego Bay, where Miller has worked since 2003 in the housekeeping department, would agree that she gives the brightest smile, the warmest hello, and the heartiest goodbye. Miller, who is affectionately called Miss P, has been motivated by her determination to provide for her two daughters. After hearing about Sanders' commitment to hiring residents for neighboring communities, Miller knew this was the opportunity she was longing for. Back then, my eldest daughter was attending Teachers College and my younger daughter was in high school. I really wanted to provide a better life for my kids, so I went to a church in Tucker where Sanders was doing training at the time, and I was selected to be a housekeeper, said Miller. From those early days, Miller displayed a willingness to go above and beyond in a way that is unparalleled to many, but true to her, as she aimed to provide herself as an embodiment of the true Sanders team member. I was in so much need for the job that in between training, I volunteered to work for 2 months as a housekeeper just so I could show them my potential. I knew that at the time, many people from Tucker were being hired and I needed to show them just how much I needed the job. Shortly after that, they took me on full-time. Her unwavering devotion as a housekeeper has not gone unnoticed, and within her 17 years at Sandals Montego Bay, Miller has won a number of accolades prizes and awards ranging from Circle of Joy, People's Choice, Resort Team Manager of the Month, and Diamond Team Manager of the Year in 2007 and again in 2011. Miller has also successfully completed a course in professional courtesy at Sandals Corporate University. With so many awards under her belt, it seems the acknowledgement she received at Sandals Montego Bay prepared her for her future recognition on the regional scale. In 2021, Miller had to make more rooms in the trophy case to accept the parish honours awarded by head of the St. James Municipal Corporation Leroy Williams for outstanding contribution to the hospitality industry. This latest accolade cements her commitment to her craft, the tourism industry, and Jamaica's advancement as a whole. Miller broke down in tears as she recounted the days she was awarded and just how significant it was to her on both a professional and personal level. Having lost her father and her nephew just 7 and 4 days prior, she admitted that she was walking around with a heavy heart. However, attending the award ceremony was meant to be the rainbow to a cloudy week. I remember sitting among all the recognized names and taking in how important this day was. I was so surprised to hear Pauline Miller from Sandals being called to stage with the select few who were chosen. I was so elated. I felt that my father and nephew were with me in spirit, and I made them proud, said an elated Miller. Miss B continues to be a bright example of a true Sandals professional and has never been shy to express her love for her work, family at Sandals Montego Bay, along with the gems she had picked up along the way. While reflecting on her journey, she noted, Sandals is a family that wants to see you grow. Your team members celebrate your highs and support you in your lows. They supported me during times of grief, and when I won my recent award, they were overjoyed for me. Listen, Sandals has given me the opportunity to send my daughters through school, build my home, and allow me to give back to my community through the Sandals Foundation. She added, it means a lot to me that my effort in the tourism industry has been recognized on a regional scale. But I learned to dance a yard before I dance abroad. Sandals is my yard, and because I have grown at the Sandals, I am now able to represent myself with pride. Now, as one of the Sandals Montego Bay top housekeeping trainers, Miller delights in passing on the gem she had found along the way. I've trained managers who have now gone to work across the Caribbean at other Sandals and contest team members that have a similar story to mine, so I empathize with them. I tell everyone that the only way to shine at Sandals is to be genuinely excited about providing the best service to our guests. I take pride in being a housekeeper who is good at making the guests smile, and I encourage the team to find their place because there is a place at Sandals for everyone with passion and a goal. General Manager of Sandals Montego Bay, Chris Elliott, spoke highly of Miss P and her accomplishments. He noted that through many initiatives that Sandals had introduced to improve upon the traits of its team members, many have gone on to be diligent members of the wider Jamaican society. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.